from 6 a.m. to 12 noon every day on High Impact 102.1 FM, your urban lifestyle station.
And I know it's gonna be a lovely day.
Good morning, distinguished listeners. Welcome to our Impact 102.1 FM, and it is right about time for our newspaper review for today, Thursday, 11th of June, 2026. Thank you for joining us today as we take a comprehensive look at the major headlines making the front pages of some Nigerians' leading newspaper. Today's newspapers are dominated by one reoccurring theme, and that is what? Security. From fresh terrorist attacks in Kogi State and renewed calls for state policing to concerns over political spendings, internal democracy, and the growing debate around self-defense. The headlines reflect a nation wrestling with critical questions about safety, governance, and democratic accountability. The front pages of The Guardian, The Daily Trust, The Punch, and The Vanguard paint a worrying picture of escalating insecurity, particularly attacks targeting schools and vulnerable communities. At the same time, policymakers and stakeholders continue to debate whether Nigeria's current security architecture is still adequate for the challenges facing the country. We'll be starting off with the Punch newspaper. Before we start off with the Punch newspaper, my name is Arugundade Timitokwe. So, major headline on the Punch newspaper this morning says, school closures spread after fresh bandit attack. And we have one rider to this story. School shot in Edo, Niger as bandits kill Kogi vice principal, 2 others. School closures spread after fresh bandit attack. School shot in Edo, Niger as bandits kill Kogi vice principal, 2 others. This is a very sad story. It's a very sad one, and it's on page 2 of the Punch newspaper. Moving on, right above the nameplate, we have 2027 governorship aspirants spent 30 billion on primaries, and this is coming from the EFCC chair. Governorship aspirants spent 30 billion naira on primaries, and that story is on page 14. Moving on, right beside the nameplate, we have U.S. military presence in Nigeria based on invitation, and this is coming from AFRICOM. U.S. military presence in Nigeria based on invitation, and that is on page 7. And the last story we're taking this morning on the Punch newspaper says Senate orders ex-NNPC boss Kyari arrest over 210 trillion naira probe. Senate orders ex-NNPC boss Kyari arrests over 210 trillion naira probe, and that is on page 12 of the Punch newspaper. And that's how we're taking this morning on the Punch. Moving on to the Vanguard newspaper, you can always join the conversation. The phone lines are currently opened 09072245018, because all the stories we're talking about are things that is affecting every single one of us, whether we want to say directly or indirectly. 09072245018. I'm sure a lot of us wants to join the conversation, air out our minds, say even things that are not on the papers, but it's actually affecting us. And we are currently live on YouTube at our Impact 102.1 FM. You can always stream us from there. On the Vanguard newspaper, major headline says terrorists kill vice principal, 2 others in Kogi, Edo shot school, and we have quite a number of riders to that story. 3 students adopted, and this is coming from the community. Police intensifies manhunt for fleeing terrorists. Attackers came in army uniforms, state government is saying. Pandemon in Mina as parents withdrew students from schools over fears of terrorist invasion. And the last rider says northern, southern, middle belt leaders call for security emergency. This is a major story. The newspaper reports a fresh terrorist attack in Kogi State in which a vice principal and 2 others individuals were killed, while 3 students were reportedly adopted. And according to the report, the attackers stormed the community disguised in military uniforms, creating confusion among residents before launching their assault. The attack has triggered panic across several states. The Edo state government has reportedly responded by shutting schools in vulnerable areas as a precautionary measure against possible attacks. This is very concerning. Parents in neighborhood states has also begun withdrawing children from schools amid growing fears. And this is drawing our education sector, is drawing it back. It's taking it 10 steps or 1,000 steps back. The security agencies have intensified efforts to track down the perpetrators, and this story is a frightening evolution of insecurity in Nigeria. Schools are meant to be safe spaces for learning and development. However, repeated attacks on educational institutions is creating fears among parents, teachers, students, the community at large. And the use of military uniform by attackers is particularly alarming because it undermines public confidence and it makes it harder for citizens to distinguish between legitimate security personnel and criminals. And this thing has long-term consequences. Increased school dropout rate, reduced access to education, psychological trauma amongst not just the students, the teachers, greater pressure on already strained communities. And I think government is see why Nigerians are demanding urgent reforms in our security architecture. You can read that story on page 5 of the Vanguard newspaper. Right beneath that, we have reps to vote on state police tomorrow at plenary. And they've been saying that they're going to vote about the state policing this week. We're going to get a verdict this week. And now they're showing us that we're going to get it tomorrow. And it's a very important story. It's a very important story because House of Representatives are expected to consider the issue of state policing. But there's a lot of debate about state policing. That has it gained momentum due to persistent insecurity across the country? The supporters are arguing that local security challenges require local solution and that governors should have greater control over security operations within their states. The state police debate is no longer merely a political decision because with the increasing insecurity, necessity is in the eyes of many stakeholders. The state policing has become a necessity because we need them to improve intelligence gathering, enhance rapid response to local threats, improve accountability, reduce dependency on the overstretched federal police structure. I don't think this is time for people to fear if there's going to be abuse of the state police by politicians against their opponents, because we have more pressing issues. There should be a policy that, this cannot happen. These politicians using the state police against their opposition or police having to, there should be something about that because it obviously might happen in the long run. But we need state police as fast as possible. And we need it to yield something positive. because that is why they're about to create it. That story you can get on page 8 of the Vanguard newspaper. Moving on to another story right above the nameplate, xenophobia. 268 Nigerians arrived from South Africa today. This development follows the report of rising hostility against foreign nationals in some South African communities. As we know, xenophobia continues to affect diplomatic and economic relations across Africa, and the recurring attacks raise questions about regional integration and the ability of African nations to protect fellow Africans living and working within their borders. And the return of the affected Nigerians may also place additional social and economic burdens on families and communities back home. But it will be so good when those people arrive, because they've faced a lot where they are coming from. That story is on page 9 of the Vanguard newspaper. Right beside the nameplate, we have Labour joins forces with Gbenga Ashimi as Democratic Renewal movement takes off. We are seeing that the Labour Party elements and political stakeholders are aligned with Gbenga Ashimi's Democratic Renewal movement, and the initiative is aimed at promoting democratic reforms and creating alternative political platforms ahead of future elections. Nigeria's political landscapes appear to be undergoing significant realignment ahead of 2027. We are seeing a lot of coalition realignments with the opposition parties. We are seeing new alliances, political movements, and it's emerging a lot. And according to them, is a strategy challenging the current ruling establishment. And that is on page 9 of the Vanguard newspaper. And the last story we're taking this morning on the Vanguard newspaper says, court orders unconditional release of detained Okwama leaders. The newspaper is telling us that the court is directing the unconditional release of detained community leaders from Okwama, and the story reinforces the importance of judicial oversight in protecting civil liberties and ensuring that detention processes comply with constitutional provision. And that's all. And the story is on page 12 of the Vanguard newspaper. And that's what we're taking this morning on the Vanguard. Before we move on to the remaining two papers, we'll be going on a quick break. When we are back, we'll analyze Daily Trust and Guardian newspaper. And of course, the phone lines are open for every one of us to call in, share our takes on these stories or stories that are affecting us but they're not in the papers. Because I'm sure there's a lot: cooking gas, electricity. We have a lot to talk about, and we want to hear from you. 090-7224-5018. You can call us or text us via WhatsApp or SMS. 090-7224-5018. Do not go anywhere. I'll be right back.
Welcome to High Impact Planet Amusement Park, Resort and Hotel, Nigeria's world-class destination where excitement lives and memories never fade. Located along the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway in Ibafo, Ogun State, discover over 60 thrilling rides and attractions. Get to feel the rush and joy everywhere you turn. From coaster adventures to fun indoor games, it's the perfect spot for family time, school excursions, and unforgettable days out. Planning a team outing or corporate retreat? Enjoy our conference rooms and team bonding spaces designed to make every moment worthwhile. And when it's time to relax, unwind in our comfortable hotel rooms and service apartments with delicious meals. Because what we give is a complete experience. This is where magic happens. This is where memories are made. High Impact Planet. Fun just got real. Send us a DM on Instagram at High Impact Planet NG or call 0814-229-9509 to book your experience today.
Hey, High Impact.
Hi, how may I help you?
Which station can I take as my everyday companion?
You already know. It is High Impact 102.1 FM. We are as mobile as you could listen to us on your devices via our website, our mobile app, and our social media platforms.
Thank you very much for your feedback.
We got you covered.
High Impact 102.1 FM.
Hey, High Impact.
Hello.
How many wonders of the world are there?
There are 7 wonders of the world.
Oh, thank you, High Impact.
You're welcome.
Hey, let's get June-tastic as we jump into the month of June.
We can Mr. Make y'all
Jump!
This month is marking the attendance of the second half of the year, and we're here to put that extra spring in your step, High Impact citizen, to ensure that you are jumping into June with as much excitement as you did at the start of the year. Again, get June-tastic, de-stress, and depressurize. We don't want you stressing over stuff you haven't been able to achieve in the first half of the year. Hey, no pressure. You can still do it. Remember, life is not an unhealthy competitive race. So relax. You've got this. We're rooting for you. So we'll be here cheering you on from the sidelines every time you tune into High Impact Radio 102.1 FM. There's exciting gifts to be won, great music to be enjoyed, and laughter to be shared. So let's hold hands and jump into June together.
AI Impact.
Hi, how may I help you?
So everywhere's a bit boring. I was wondering where I could get the perfect blend of education and entertainment. Do you have any suggestion?
Of course I do. You're at the right place. Here on High Impact 102.1 FM, we give you premium edutainment. We promise you'll never get bored with us.
In this Nigeria?
Yes, and here's the good news. You can actually listen to us wherever you are.
The king of radio is here. High Impact 102.1 FM.
Hey, High Impact.
Hello.
What is the largest desert in the world?
The largest desert in the world is the Antarctic Desert.
Thank you, High Impact.
You're welcome.
Hey, High Impact.
Hi, how may I help you?
There are a number of oceans in the world. I'm wondering, which is the largest?
The Pacific Ocean is the largest and deepest of the Earth's 5 oceanic divisions. It extends from the Arctic Ocean in the north to the Southern Ocean in the south, and is bounded by the continent of Asia and Australia in the west and the Americas in the east. It has an area of 165.2 million kilometers square.
I'm so glad I just learned something new. Thank you.
Learning is fun.
This station is powered by the future.
Welcome back to our Impact 102.1 FM. We are currently reviewing the newspaper for today, Thursday, 11 June 2026. We've gone through the Vanguard newspaper and the Daily and the Punch newspaper. Sorry about that. And we'll be moving on to the Daily Trust and the Guardian newspaper. And before we do that, I want us to know that the phone lines are currently open for us to call in and join the conversation. 090-7224-5018. You can also text us via WhatsApp or SMS. 090-7224-5018. We want to hear your take on these issues that are currently affecting both you and I. So guys, we'll be going off with the Daily Trust newspaper. Major headline on the Daily Trust newspaper. We have just one story we're taking this morning on the Daily Trust. Gunmen disrupt WAEC in Kogi, kill vice principal and others. Gunmen disrupt WAEC in Kogi, kill vice principal and others. This is a very sad story. It's very sad, and that story is on pages 5 and 6 of the Daily Trust newspaper, and that's what we're taking this morning on the Daily Trust. Moving on to the Guardian newspaper. Major headline on the Guardian says insecurity, push for state police heightens amid agitation for self-defense. Push for state police heightens amid agitation for self-defense. The newspaper reports that increasing calls for citizens to defend themselves against attacks have intensified demands for the establishment of state police. The report notes that insecurity across various regions has fueled frustration among citizens who feel increasingly vulnerable. Stakeholders, security experts, and political leaders are reportedly renewing argument that the current centralized policing structure is struggling to cope with evolving threats. The story directly connects to Vanguard's report on insecurity, as we've read in the Vanguard newspaper. As attacks continue in communities across Nigeria, many citizens are asking difficult questions. How long should communities wait for security intervention? Is the federal police system sufficient? What alternative structures can improve safety? The self-defense debate is controversial because while citizens have a right to protect themselves, uncontrolled self-defense measures can sometimes lead to vigilantism, mob justice, and further violence. Therefore, strengthening formal security institutions remains essential. That story you can read on page 6 of the Guardian newspaper. Right beneath the nameplate, we have bandits attacks Kogi community, kill school principal, adopt wire candidates. It's a very sad one because it's on all the papers and it is very sad. Learn about it yesterday. It was a very sad thing for everyone. And according to the newspaper, bandits invaded a community, killed a school principal, and adopted candidates preparing for the West African Senior School Certification Examination. And according to reports on the Vanguard, they said those people wore military uniform. So there was no way for them to know that, are these people bandits? Are they the military personnel? And before they showed their true self. And this attack underscores the vulnerability of educational institutions. When students preparing for national examination become targets, it does not affect only individual lives, but affect the future of an entire community. And it further highlights the urgent need for enhanced school security measures nationwide. You can read that story on page 3 of the Guardian newspaper. Besides that, we have IPAC, scrapping of indirect primaries undermining internal party democracy. The Inter-Party Advisory Council, IPAC, is raising concerns over the elimination of indirect primaries in some political processes. And according to the council, such decisions may weaken internal democracy within political parties. Political parties are fundamental to democratic governance. When internal democratic processes becomes weak or manipulated, it can lead to dispute, litigation, and voter dissatisfaction. Strong internal democracy often produces stronger candidates and more stable political systems. That story you can read on page 3 of the Guardian newspaper. And the last story we're taking this morning on the Guardian newspaper says some governorship aspirants spent 30 billion naira to secure party tickets, and this is coming from EFCC. It's a very striking story. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission claims that some governorship aspirants spent as much as 30 billion naira in attempts to secure party nominations. And if this is true, the revelation raises serious questions about the cost of politics in the country. An expensive political contest, it often creates concerns about corruption, abuse of public resources, vote buying, political godfatherism, and many analysts believe that reducing the cost of political participation is essential for strengthening democracy. Because where did they get as much as 30 billion just to get tickets? Just to secure party nominations? It's a lot, and it's something that we really need them to look into. It's actually a lot. And that's what we're taking this morning on the Guardian newspaper. In all the papers we read this morning, one message stands out clearly, and that is security remains Nigerians' most urgent national challenge. Killings in Kogi State, attacks in schools, adoption of students, and growing calls for self-defense all point to a society that is urgently demanding for more effective protection from the government institution. And at the same time, the renewed debate over state police suggests that many Nigerians believe that the country may need a different security model to address contemporary threats. Hopefully we get a great news tomorrow when the Senate actually decides on state police. And beyond security, concerns about political spending, internal democracy, and governance continue to shape discussions ahead of the future elections. There are questions that Nigerians are asking today, and those questions are very straightforward. Can government guarantee security? Can democratic institutions remain credible? And can develop